I don't know about you guys, but this time of the year for gaming is always the most exciting. There is always so much going on, the Game Awards, loads of announcements, and especially if you're an Ark player, we get so much stuff. And if you saw my video yesterday or last night, it was just crazy. So today we've also got a new interview to go through, and it's actually an interview with Jeremy, the co-founder of Studio Wildcard, and this is the Iron Lords podcast. So if you want to go and check out the Iron Lords podcast, I'll leave it in the description down below. We have some massive news about Unreal Engine 5.7 and when that's going to be updated already. We just had 5.5, we're a little bit behind, but we're going to go through this interview now, watch it together, so drop a like, subscribe. Lost Colony is coming tomorrow, guys. I'll have a video coming later with some further information from the devs, so let's get in with the video and let's watch this. Right, okay, the Iron Lords podcast. First time I've seen this. I'm actually going to subscribe as soon as we finish watching this because there's also another really cool interview on this that I watched. I haven't watched this one yet, so this will be the first time.
All right, and we are not live. Iron Lord Podcast here, Lord Cognito here, lordsofgaming.net, and who is this fine gentleman in the realm of the NASDAQ building?
Hey, I'm Jeremy Steiglitz, the co-founder of Studio Wildcard and co-creator of Ark Survival Evolved, etc.
Ark Survival Evolved, huge game. Now, the founder of our website, rest in peace, Lord Dizzy, a huge fan of your game. Many nights stayed up late trying to teach me a game. We're actually Destiny fans who came over to Ark. So get everyone up to date who have no idea, who's living under a rock. What's the premise of Ark and what's going on with Ark lately as far as content-wise?
Well, Ark's known and it's really kind of famous for being the dinosaur survival game. So it's a game where you run around in multiplayer. You're on an island, but you can be on other kind of worlds as well. And there's tons of dinosaurs, and you can encounter them, you try to survive them, but critically, you can also tame them and ride them and make them part of your tribe, so to speak. So it's in the survival genre, but really heavily focused around dinosaurs. And over time, it also introduced a lot of sci-fi elements. So you start going to like crazy other planets and get a lot of crazy technology. And so it's become more and more and more over the top, you might say.
Yes.
Kind of like, certain franchises one might think of, like Marvel starts with a guy in an iron suit and then suddenly you're intergalactic wars and stuff. So it's the nature.
You know what? That's a really, really good point from Jeremy there. Like, I know Ark, I know it's not a dinosaur game, but it is. It's said it's a dinosaur survival game, whether it's promoted because it has dinosaurs. And I know a lot of people that always say, Dom, I miss the days when Ark just had dinosaurs. But funny enough, you can pick and choose what you enjoy, and dinosaurs are still being released to this day. There's still, if you were watching this video and you've not played Ark, we're still getting real world dinos with new maps. They're doing the community creature submissions, and in these community submissions, we're still getting real world dinos. And we're gonna go back to primitive when Ark 2 comes out, and there's a lot more primitive stuff still coming. But this is kind of Ark's futuristic side, and I guess that's a really good comparison with Marvel there.
Franchises, I guess. So now it's very sci-fi and very out there, and the latest thing we're doing. So it started like 10 years ago with an original Ark Survival Evolved, and then a couple years back we remastered it and we kind of remade it as Ark Survival Ascended on the latest version of Unreal Engine 5. New graphics, new polish, new content, and what's happening right now is we're releasing our first major expansion pack for this new version of the game. This expansion pack is called Ark Lost Colony, and it is the first one that fully advances the story. So previously for this Ark Survival Ascended, we just kind of added little bits and pieces of features. This one is a giant new kind of world with story and new mechanics and features, and really kind of takes the narrative and structure of the game forward in a big way. So it's pretty crazy.
That's awesome. I see the growth of the franchise and to see where you guys are taking it. Now, the question I have for you is lapsed Destiny players. My question is for new players, how do you tackle onboarding someone who's like, hey, this is the first time I'm coming to this world. I've seen the upgrades. I've seen the glow up. Now you've got this whole narrative content. Will I be intimidated? Will it be too much? How do I get going in this new content?
Well, by the way, can I just quickly say, I want to give a shout. This guy is a really good interviewer. I'm loving these questions, and just the way he speaks is just incredible. So shout out, because that's really good. And yeah, I mean, this is the one thing I was just going to quickly mention, was I just wanted to say, like, this one thing with Ark, right, is the reason Ascended has struggled a little bit at the beginning is the fact of, and Jeremy has said it himself, people love the remastered maps, but it's not new. You know, it's not new. What's the point really for someone who plays Evolved already and doesn't really have the money to buy Ascended to really want to save up for Ascended, because they're still really going to be playing the same game in a way. Of course, for me personally, Ascended is so much better. I know a lot of Evolve players will disagree with that, but I just think there's so much more heavily available, especially if you're on console. But there isn't that kind of real pull factor. I want this news, and that's what's so exciting with Lost Colony. But anyway, let's get back into it.
Lost Colony is definitely probably not the easiest entry point if you've never played Ark before. It's kind of an advanced players thing. So it tends to be, if you play Ark, there's always the island. You start on the island. That's the easiest way to get into it. There's dodos. They're not really going to hurt you. They just kind of walk around. And
they're not going to hurt me.
Yeah. They walk around and squawk, and you can cook them for dinner. So there's really not... It's a little easier. You start on the beach. Lost Colony is more for veteran players, and you kind of can work your way up to that. It's got vampires. It's got some crazy stuff. So it's more like... It's a lot more threatening of an environment, and probably if one was to jump right into it, you'd have to use a lot of cheat codes to survive.
Fair enough. So it's safe to say this is in-game, high-end content for veteran players who've been around, who may have experienced the biggest challenges in the base game, and now we're ready to take on Lost Colony.
Yeah, there are a lot of those, thankfully. A lot of people have played Ark over the years, but it's cool because there are a lot of maps you can kind of almost go just map by map and get more experience and more skills or familiarity with the game. You don't have to jump right into this kind of crazy end game content, even though it might look tempting because like vampires and stuff.
Vampires sound cool. You got to tell me a little bit more about the vampires. King is shaking his head. He likes vampires. I love vampires. Yes, he does. So tell us about what's some of the feedback that you've got in creating this content, from the community, to say, things that you tackled, or some of the biggest maybe pain points that maybe were addressed in this content drop.
Well, I mean, a lot of things in Ark tend to revolve in terms of player feedback around bugs and performance. That's the perennial wish list from players. So we have a live service team, and we constantly try to improve the bugs and improve the balance. Performance is more challenging in a way because a lot of it's dependent on the technology that we use, which is Unreal Engine 5. So the good news is Epic themselves, the creators of Unreal Engine, over time, add a lot of features to the technology that improve its performance on people's computers. So we are basically constantly trying to upgrade the engine to the latest version to get the performance improvements that Epic has themselves added. And we're actually still a few versions behind their latest stuff. So they've just released like Unreal Engine 5.7. We're still on 5.5. And the latest one adds a bunch more performance improvements. So our plan is in Q1 next year, right around March, April, we're going to release our Unreal Engine 5.7 upgrade. That's going to boost the performance a lot. Like there's a lot of features there that are really going to make it run better on people's computers and even on the gaming consoles, Xbox and PlayStation. So performance and bugs every day.
Wow, yeah, so that is brilliant news, because I mean, Ark is a game we all know for the last 10 years, known to be buggy, known to be broken on consoles. It's such an amazing game. That's why so many people have played it for so long, even through the struggles of bugs and stuff. But with more technology, I feel like Ark's been way ahead of its time. It's been way ahead of its time. Not for how well made it's been, but that it's needed to feast on new technology to be able to grow. And it's been such a while that that's been able to be a possibility. And now with like technology growing at such a crazy rate, the technology is actually going to catch up with Ark itself. I'm not saying Ark is so much better than any other game out there, but it requires so much. It's such a strength. The game is so what's the word, like strain? You know what I mean? It's like it like pulls onto your PC, and it needs more technology to allow it to open to new possibilities and also just make the base game run smoother. So really fantastic news. Did he say March and April? Or did he say April, May? 1 second, let's just listen to that again.
That's going to boost the performance a lot. Like there's a lot of features there that are really we're still on 5.5. And the latest one adds a bunch more performance improvements. So our plan is in Q1 next year, right around March, April.
March, April. Okay, so yeah, that's really good news. So we did see that Survival of the Fittest is coming out Q1 2026, which, by the way, you guys are going to get me back to streaming, and I hope you're excited. So any of my OG viewers that used to watch me stream Survival of the Fittest, you're going to get those a lot more often now. You're going to get those like a couple of hours, like every other day. We'll hop in, we'll just chill together, we'll just chill back, relax, and have some chill Survival of the Fittest, jumping into games. And I've missed it. It's what I've wanted to stream, and I know I'm gonna get hooked into it again because it's so much fun. But I can't wait for that. And then just after Survival of the Fittest, we're gonna get Unreal Engine 5.7.
We're gonna release our Unreal Engine 5.7 upgrade. That's gonna boost the performance a lot. Like, there's a lot of features there that are really gonna make it run better on people's computers and even on the gaming consoles, Xbox and PlayStation. So, performance and bugs every day.
We like performance, and we like squashing bugs. And I'm glad you said our audience is a very console-centric audience, so I love that you said that you're going into that. What are some of the features that, I know you said vampires, I know you said narrative, but what are some of the features that you personally are most proud of that they've added, or anything that we haven't heard about just yet to our audience?
Yeah, no, there's a big one. So the thing that you can do, there's a lot of features that Lost Colony adds, but like the ones that I think change the game in more fundamental ways are, we added a skill tree, like a full detailed Skyrim style, RPG style skill tree with like hundreds of skills and milestones that you get to unlock the skills, to earn points. They do all kinds of passive and active things. They can be combat oriented, they can be passive buff oriented. So that's a big change for Ark. We previously had stat points you could put in, but not an actual skill system, and that was overhauled completely with Lost Colony and adds a lot of depth to the game and a lot of player choice. The other thing is there are all these NPCs in this world of Lost Colony, and they actually go around and do their own thing. They have bases, and you can attack them, you can destroy their bases, they're controlled by the computer. You can also actually turn them to your side, and they can become part of your tribe and do things for you. So the whole NPC system, these are like human style NPCs. You can level them up, you can configure their equipment, you can send them off to harvest stuff for you and manage your base. That's entirely new with Lost Colony, and it changes the game quite a bit.
Man, this sounds awesome. I can't wait to get a hold of it. So for all those living under a rock, when can they get their hand on this content? How far are we away from getting?
Couple days. Thursday. Still working on it, though.
Thursday. He's still working. The man's working hard. Lord Jeremy, an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm of the Lords. Ark, Lost Colony Evolved. We cannot wait to get our hands on it. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure. Have a good one.
Take care, guys.
Well, Iron Lords podcast, you have just gained yourself a new subscriber, because was such a perfect, 7 minutes, such a great interview, packed full of so much information. And I mean, this is literally the face that he's got on here is literally what I'm feeling like towards Jeremy right now after hearing about those NPCs, because the fact is, we have wanted this for so long, and a big shout out to Zone, who works on obviously NPC mods in Ark, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does with his NPC mod, with what Wildcard add in with their NPCs of Lost Colony. But the fact is that there is so much coming for the game. Now, I would take the release date of Unreal Engine 5.7 with a bit of a pinch of salt. I do see release dates getting slightly better with, by the way, hold on a second, and I'm not saying it's going to be anything that different. It's still going to be wildcard releases and whatnot. But because they're boosting production, they're putting a lot more into things, and Lost Colony is probably going to generate them a lot of revenue. And they've got so much planned with this new roadmap. They're going to need to smash through a lot of the stuff. So I do see things being a little bit more coordinated. The launch of Ascended was a mess. Everything was a mess. There was 6 months between the island and Scorched Earth, like half a year. It was a complete mess. But they've kind of got a little bit of they've got control of the car again. They're driving smoothly, and this is really great news. Unreal Engine 5.7 meant to be launching around March and April time for Ark Survival Ascended. NPCs are coming to Lost Colony, and Lost Colony officially launches tomorrow for the game. So if you do want to keep up to date with everything Ark, I will have a Lost Colony kind of launch video that goes live later tonight with some dev information. We've got a lot of stuff on the build up tomorrow. Of course, if you're not in the LoadedCrysis cluster, come and join us, because we've got a lot of stuff going on in the background in preparation for that map going live as well. So we've got 100 slots for PvP, 100 slots for PvE, and if demand goes crazy, we will launch another 2, and we would basically just be opening servers as and when we need to, for the amount of players that we have. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section, and I'll see you in the pre-Lost Colony video coming tonight. See you guys then.